to our RightBlogger stream. I would imagine we're live now. I'm pretty sure we're live. Everything looks like we're live. I see big red buttons in front of me. So welcome, everybody. I'm Ryan Robinson, one of the co-founders here at RightBlogger. I'm joined with my co-founder, Andy Felicotti. Andy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, and especially even better now that we're interfacing face to face. But yeah, and if you're unfamiliar with me, I built RightBlogger, so I'm definitely happy to be here and answer some questions.
Yeah, I love looping in Andy to these because it is so much fun to have the person who actually built the things be able to explain what's going on. And so we also want to invite you to ask us any questions you've got. This is going to be just our standard RightBlogger demo. We've got some really cool new features that we're excited to showcase. And we want to really get into the nitty gritty of how our tools work, how to develop a workflow and a process based on what your goals are and what you want to achieve with the help of tools in your content and your marketing. And so there is no wrong time to ask a question. Please pop into the chat, ask away anytime, but I'd love to hear, where are you tuning in from today? Drop that into the chat. Tell us where you're watching from. I know we've got some RightBlogger customers here that are always tuning in, so I appreciate seeing you guys. I know we've probably got a Steve in New Orleans somewhere here in the mix, would be my best guess, but I'm over
We
here
got,
in
we got
Venice
Lisa
Beach,
too,
California. Oh, we got Lisa. Yeah, welcome, Lisa. Always a pleasure. Oh, this is so awesome.
and of course I'm in St. Louis, so
Andy in St. Louis. We've got, is this still like very summery for you right now?
oh yeah, it's great, fantastic.
Nice.
I'm sure it's like the last couple of weeks here of good weather, but yeah, enjoy what we can. Lisa up in
Nice.
Maine, I'm sure it's beautiful up there right now.
Oh yeah, we got String Shock Steve down in New Orleans. I see you, Steve. Nice, welcome. Oh, we have so many cool people tuning in today. Thank you guys for joining. Darren, see you in New Jersey. What's up, Darren? Lisa in Maine. Hey, hey. Yelena, Maryland. Thank you for joining us. We got John in Ontario. What? Wow. Southern Indiana in the house. Raul in Chicago. What? Dang. This is awesome. Anne in Charlotte, thank you, Anne. Yeah, this is so cool. We love seeing you guys here, tuning in from everywhere. This is awesome. We really appreciate it. And I want to reiterate again, anytime you have a question, anytime you've got a request, if you've got something you want to see us show you how to do, this is the time for it. There is no bad time to ask these questions, but when you have us on live, this is the best time because I will show you how to do it. And if I don't know how to do it, Andy definitely knows how to do it.
Or I'll build it. I'll build it if it doesn't work right.
Or he'll build it. We really pride ourselves on we build features all the time based on feedback, ideas, things that you guys ask us. Hey, is this possible inside RightBlogger? And if it's not, then we often are able to build it. So anything you want to see that's going to help you with your content and your marketing workflows, let us know anytime. So without further ado, I know we'll have some people joining later here on the stream. And for those of you catching this on the recorded version, if you want to reach us live anytime, we have a RightBlogger Discord community that's free for anyone to join who is a RightBlogger user. Whether you're free, paid, doesn't matter. Come join the party, ask questions. You can interface with us live there too. Andy especially spends a good amount of time in there. He's really proactive. I have been slacking lately, but if you've got questions and you want more real-time feedback conversations with us, the Discord community is a great place to do that. rightblogger.com/Discord will take you there.
And I dropped that in the chat too, in case you want to just click a link.
Beautiful. Cool. Well, without any more delay, let's get started with our September 2025 RightBlogger demo. Now, Andy, I want you to hop in anytime I'm forgetting something, I'm missing things. You built everything here, so I know you know what's cooking. But I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll get started, guys. Let's see. Let me share the right screen. We've got tons of monitors here. All right, here we go. So I believe you can see my screen correctly, right, Andy?
I can see it.
You can see it. All right, cool. If you can see my screen here watching on the stream, please just drop a quick comment into the chat and say, I can see it or something like that. Just want to make sure that y'all can see what we're showing off here. So with that in mind, let's get started. So when you land on the RightBlogger homepage, if you're logged in already, if you have a free or a paid account, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna say use tools. But if you're brand new to RightBlogger, if you haven't yet created an account or signed up for either our pro or business plan, you're gonna see more of the sign up style widgets here around the homepage. And just go ahead and make a free account. Pretty much, well, the majority of everything we want to show you here today is going to be possible to at least try on the free account. There's some exceptions there because we've been adding some really cool pro level features over the past few weeks that are limited to only our paid plans, which are on pro and business. And so the general concept of what RightBlogger is. If you're new to RightBlogger, we have content creation tools that are designed for bloggers and marketers. And everything is now designed around automating your blogging and doing so in a way to where you start by creating content inside RightBlogger. And now you can SEO optimize this content. And that's also going to be optimized for LLMs like ChatGPT to encourage these AI platforms to also cite you as a source and recommend you to people who could use your help. And then finally, the last stage, create, optimize, and then send to your site, publish. So we're really building tools and workflows around how you can automate your blogging process so that it's both optimized to rank well on Google and in LLMs, and also to sound like you, to feel like you, to actually connect with your audience in a way that works for you. Andy, how's that sound? Did I miss anything there?
That sounds perfect. I think we should do a rundown of the actual interface once you're actually logged into RightBlogger.
Perfect. Let's do it. So we've got over 80 different tools inside RightBlogger. We're sort of reorganizing things these days around automated workflows and processes. What should I show off first once we're here inside rightblogger.com/tools? This is our tools collection.
Well, before we dive in, Jan had a good question here, and it's, can I cancel my Ahrefs account? I have an answer to this, but I'll let you answer this first, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a super fair question. My personal take is that yes, you can. You will get all of the high level SEO and keyword research related info. We have backlink checkers. We have tools that essentially do everything that you really need inside Ahrefs. I like to think of RightBlogger as being great for everyone who's beginner and intermediate in terms of marketing and content. Ahrefs is awesome, but it's also like a Ferrari for marketers. And so it's really, really expensive. It can do things that RightBlogger can't, just full disclosure, but all of the things Ahrefs does that we can't do inside RightBlogger is very advanced. And so the vast majority of people that I know, even professional marketers, people who lead content teams for big companies, they don't use more than a handful of features inside something like an Ahrefs. And so RightBlogger was really born around the concept of let's give the tools that we actually do use to people for a budget. So long-winded answer to I believe you can cancel your Ahrefs subscription. Yes.
And I just want to throw out there, Ahrefs is also a much more accurate in terms of the data they have. They have much more data than we do.
Yeah.
So like Ryan said, it's like for way more advanced users. But yeah, I think that's a great question though.
Yeah, and Darren also asked a really good question. I love this, you guys. Please keep the questions coming. Are the paid plans metered? Like, is unlimited really unlimited, or are there limits? Inside RightBlogger, you get essentially unlimited word count of creation across all our tools. Things that do have limits on them. I'll just pull up our pricing page so I can just show you visually here real quick on the screen. Things that actually have limits include Tool Studio. So we'll showcase that towards the end of our stream today. It's the build your own embeddable tools. That feature does have limits. You can do 5 on the pro plan, up to I think it's 25. Yeah, up to 25 on the business plan. And the only other real thing with limits is our SEO reports and the auto optimize feature, which is now the main thing inside RightBlogger. It's what allows you to take any piece of longer form content you've created and automatically generate an SEO report based on everything that's already ranking in the top page of Google, and auto optimize your content in just one click against that SEO report. So it does all of the SEO optimization for you. That is a limited feature because it's super detailed. There's a lot of data and crawling that we do behind the scenes in order to help make that process super easy for you. So on the Pro plan, you can do 5 SEO reports and 5 auto optimizations per month. On the business plan, you can do up to 25 SEO reports, up to 25 automatic optimizations as well.
And I don't know if you
Andy, did I
mentioned
miss
that
anything?
it is unlimited. Did you mention that like in terms of the tool usage? Are you
Yes.
actually using the AI tools? Yeah.
Using actual tools, if you're using our article writer, if you're using video to blog tool, any of the 80 plus tools inside RightBlogger, their use is unlimited on both of our paid plans. The free plan does come with some word count limits. Yeah, great questions though. Let me just do a quick peek again to see if we missed any good questions. I love this. Oh, you guys, thank you for asking so many good questions. I got to give a shout out to Steve. I use RightBlogger for everything. It would be great if y'all offered hosting one day. That's really cool to hear. Yeah, thank you, Steve. That's on our list of potential things we may consider at one time. If anyone else here wants to see us host websites, we'd love to hear in the chat. Just drop hosting into the chat if that's something that you would like to see us offer. I know that the web hosting industry is very fragmented. There's tons of, the GoDaddies, the Bluehosts, maybe a lot of different reviews on these types of platforms going on. Cool. We got so many good questions. Let's answer the questions while we got them here.
Yeah,
No, this is
this
amazing.
is
I love
great.
it. The tool limit of 5, is that an all-time limit or a monthly limit? That is a monthly limit. But
No,
as I was
that's
saying
all
here,
time. That's
oh,
creating tools.
for the
The
embeddable
t-
tools, correct.
yeah. So you can
If you're
create
talking
5
about
embeddable
Tool
tools.
Studio.
Yeah.
Correct. Inside Tool Studio, which why don't we have that up on my screen here? Inside Tool Studio, where you can create the embeddable tools that you can go host on your blog. You can drop in something like if you had a hiking blog, you could create a hiking embeddable tool like this one right here that you can see. You can make this right inside RightBlogger and embed that into your site. It looks like something like this. You've got analytics, you've got a really nice range of options, calls to actions. There's a lot going on with Tool Studio that we'll get to towards the end of this session today. But yes, this one does come with an all-time limit. So you'll be able to have an active 5 tools on our Pro plan. And if you're on the business plan, you can have up to 25 active embedded tools. Oh, so many good questions, you
Yeah.
guys.
This
Oh,
is a lot of great questions, Darren
this is why we do
and
it. I love
Raul.
it.
Maybe we should have just done a RightBlogger Q&A.
Hey, that's what we got here. Okay, so Raul does have a good question. Let me pull this one up. How can we use these tools for AIO optimization? I noticed that there is answer engine optimization in it. So would like to learn more about it. So Rahul, I actually just did a live stream a week ago. I think it was a
Yeah.
week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now, with my friend Josh Hainum. It's on our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this right now, just pull up our channel in another tab. And one of the most recent live streams you'll see there is an LLM SEO optimization strategy live stream. We spent an hour and 20 minutes doing Q&A, showing our process, diving into really cool examples of how to do AI optimization. And so I'll point you there for now, since that's not the core topic of this exact stream we're doing today. But that is really good to hear more of these questions, because we'll do another stream soon on this topic, because it is something that's always evolving and changing very quickly now. So a lot going on there, and we're building more tooling behind the scenes to help with this too.
And I will note the AI optimization tool, Ryan gave me some feedback. It's basically, it gives you components to add to your articles. Like, so you can put in content from an existing article and get like extra elements like key takeaways and things like that. That's kind of how I designed it right now. I'm probably going to tweak it a little bit in the future, but yeah, we probably won't go into full depth on that tool here.
Yeah. Jay asks, if RightBlogger does the same thing as Google Analytics, do you still need Google Analytics? RightBlogger does not do website analytics. Now, what you may have seen that I was showing on my screen here a few moments ago was tool analytics. So if you're using Tool Studio to embed tools on your website and run this playbook, which, by the way, this tool drives traffic to my hiking blog because it ranks #1 for Yosemite Hike Planner. And if you're using that playbook, the analytics that you saw there are specific to your tool embeds. Now, we don't replace Google Analytics. We would recommend, if you want maybe a free alternative to Google Analytics, our friends over at Simple Analytics, they have a really nice, clean analytics platform. I'll just pull it up here. That we use across all of our sites as well. So if you want to try something that's not GA, check this out. They're built all around like privacy and not sharing your data. Cool. Okay, let's pull up some more. Do we have some more questions?
There are some more. Yeah, this is a good one here. It's how is RightBlogger different than ChatGPT?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I can answer that if you'd like, Ryan.
Andy, take it away.
Yeah. So I don't know why I said I would answer this, but basically, if you find the prompting difficult in ChatGPT, kind of RightBlogger is built out of the necessity to like have more of an organized structure, so you can easily prompt to make new articles, things like that. And one big thing about ChatGPT is you can't generate, at least from my experience, articles over 1, 2, 3,000 words. That kind of limit, kind of it only will write like 1 to 2,000 words. So our article writer actually like puts multiple AI requests together to actually generate articles that are over 1,000 words, and that's kind of like a big necessity there. And we also connect to like outside data sources, like getting things from YouTube, getting search results, and kind of like more optimizations that we're going to show in this live stream. So you'll kind of see the differences there. We also do have a chat specifically, so it's kind of like ChatGPT. I'd say
that's what I've got pulled up here.
The ChatGPT interface, obviously, they have a little more options, but we offer basically all of the same feature set. If there's something you'd like to see, just let us know. You can generate images in there. You can ask, typical AI questions and things like that. And you had a follow-up question I thought was really good. I don't know if you have anything to add about ChatGPT, Ryan.
The only thing I'll add real quick is that we connect a lot of different external data sources to our version of chat here inside RightBlogger. So RightBlogger chat, you can think of as like a ChatGPT that's trained to be an expert pro at blogging, content creation, and marketing out of the box. And so I like to use it for things that I know I want to keep inside RightBlogger. This is where I do all my content related stuff. So something like give me some bullet points on updating this blog post. If I want to revisit updating a blog post and just do some quick tune-ups, I can get a really full comprehensive list here.
And Darren also had a follow-up of how is the tool better than AppSumo lifetime deals?
RightBlogger? How is RightBlogger better than AppSumo lifetime deals? Okay,
there are a lot of AI tools in AppSumo.
Oh, totally. I mean, we are also so biased, Darren. You're asking the people that make this tool. So take into account our biases, right? I love this tool because it is what we built based on being bloggers, content creators ourselves for the past 15 years each. We've both been doing this and building websites for over a decade now. And so this is our version of solving the problem of content creation and marketing. And we believe that we do it the best. Our tools are designed taking into account what we believe is to be most important when you're going about creating and improving content online. Now, the difference between what you're going to get on an AppSumo lifetime deal is that you'll probably lock in something at a really good price point. So you'll feel like you got a really good deal. But like we had an email from a customer, I think literally today, saying something about how they'd bought some crappy AppSumo lifetime deals and they were disappointed with it and they were going to come join RightBlogger. So this is a thing that we do see this often where people often get locked into some sort of AppSumo lifetime deal that does come with some restrictions on it, or maybe they're on a plan level where the founders of the app are no longer, say, updating or improving or really like pushing forward the app. And so we don't offer things like that, because we want people to want to stick around, and it encourages us to continue improving the product quite a lot as well. And the last thing I'll say on the AppSumo note too is that, a little bit of behind the scenes business on AppSumo. A lot of the people that I know that do offer AppSumo deals often resort to that as kind of a last hurrah type of a thing for their product, unless their product is very clearly doing really, really well in terms of user growth or revenue growth. They're probably not going to offer something like an AppSumo lifetime deal, because those deals usually are not advantageous to the founder that's offering them. AppSumo tends to make the most money out of anyone for it. So a little bit behind the scenes. So many awesome questions, you guys. Darren, this is a stream for Darren. I love it. If you're this is great. If you are connected to your WordPress account and posting content via your tool, can the AI also do internal linking to relevant posts already in WordPress? Yes, it can. So we will be showing, as we get into our demo here, we'll be showing how you can do that for sure. Okay. One more Darren question, then we're going to kick over to our programming. We'll make some more time for Q&A towards the end. How on top of Google updates to their algo is RightBlogger, so that when Google drops their quarterly bomb, how fast are you to react and update so we can stay ahead? What an awesome question. I'll offer my quick take, and then Andy can offer any of his behind the scenes as well. But from our perspective, we often do not see that sites who are operating with all content and SEO best practices, we do not see that sites operating in this manner see major volatility when most search algorithm updates go live. So from our experience, everything we teach, everything we build, so we have courses inside RightBlogger, right? This is where you can come, rightblogger.com/courses, to learn about everything going on in SEO these days. And so we're updating our course content like this, where we teach all of the best, most practical advice and strategies out there. But from what we see, people do not experience massive hits to their websites when they're using tools and processes that are taking off all the best practices. But that being said, we are always paying attention to algorithm updates and what's going on, so that we're updating accordingly. I couldn't give you an exact timeline on how quickly we push changes, but Andy's pushing updates to the app multiple times every week.
And I will note, we always are updating to the latest AI models and updating prompts to make sure we get the best results out of AI and things like that. Kind of an aside from the actual Google updates themselves. But yeah, we haven't really seen much volatility like you were saying.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Keep the questions coming. We love to see this. This is awesome. If we catch a question that's very relevant to something we're showing on the screen, we'll pop over and address that. Otherwise, all other questions, we'll definitely make some time for Q&A towards the end. But when you feel something, when you see something, when you want to say something, drop it into the chat as a question anytime. So, RightBlogger, tools for bloggers, content creators. This is the answer to what we wish we could have had ourselves back when we first started creating content at a budget price point. Now, I want to show you some of our favorite tools, some of our most popular tools, and I tend to have all of those over here under my favorites section. Anytime you're on an individual tool, you can click to favorite it if you want to add it to the top of your list over here, if it's something you know you're going to use frequently. Andy, what's in your favorites these days?
I mean, the video to blog obviously is probably my favorite. Yeah, that's like definitely one of the best. And what I love, I honestly use the Command K. If you're on a Mac, you can hit Command K and it'll do a search. So I basically, anytime I'm on RightBlogger on the homepage, I'll load the site up and just hit Command K and type in the tool I want to use. It's kind of how I navigate. So anytime you want to search, you can just click on the top right, and that also opens up the search box, and you can type in any tool that you want to use there.
This is really handy if you're ever wondering, does RightBlogger have a tool that does fill in the blank. Just start typing into the search bar up here. Or if you navigate to just kind of the tool homepage is another search bar. We want you to find what you need. We've got a bunch of different categories here: blogging tools, SEO tools, social, sales, productivity. Now, first up, I do want to just jump to the video to blog tool real quick and show how this tool functions, because I think it's my favorite. This is the one that I'm using like basically every week whenever I create a video, which, in the age of AI here, written based content is so much easier to produce if you have the right prompts. If you kind of know what it is you want to talk about, you can give those instructions to AI and create something that's, maybe it doesn't sound amazing, but is it good enough? Maybe. And so we are really huge proponents here of creating video content for your audience, because video is such a more connective medium with people, to where when someone gets to watch a video of you, like, hey, you guys are watching us on a stream right now, we feel like we're friends with you, right? It's a really cool medium to build relationships with your audience. And so we highly recommend creating videos. And the reason why this tool is one of our most popular is because it'll take that video that you already spent time, effort, energy making, and you can just paste in the link to the video here. Or if the video is offline, if you haven't published it yet, you can upload it as a file. You can also just paste in a transcript if you've got a transcript of the video. But the entire premise of this tool is that it's designed around creating SEO and LLM optimized written content based on the video you've already made. And so you can see here, we've got a bunch of options turned on that I used when I created this blog post. I wanted the video to be embedded, so I toggled that on. I wanted external links so that it's going to be linking out to other websites for relevant topics. And then, under the advanced options here, we can see I've got internal links. So it's scanning RightBlogger's website every time I go out and create a piece of content like this. The AI goes and makes sense of the content on our site, and then it'll pick and choose relevant links to include throughout the content. Andy, do you want to add anything?
And back to Darren's question, you don't actually have to connect your WordPress site. It's just the domain name for that field. So you enter your domain name there, and it'll actually find those internal links based on that.
Exactly.
Jan just asked a great question also. What about the thumbnail? So I think you're talking about a thumbnail for a video or a featured image for a blog post. I think that question might be talking about either. But we do have an AI image generator, which you could use for featured images or a thumbnail. So if you want to show that, Ryan, real quick.
Yeah, I'll pull up the AI image generator.
We don't have like a kind of like definitive tool for that, but it's something that we definitely want to add because we have an images tab on our article writer. Oh, for video. Yeah, we don't have a thumbnail specific generator at the moment. It would be a good idea though.
That is a good idea. Yeah, I like that. I think if we had some sort of like thumbnail creator tool that took into account some other like special details, that'd be cool. But our AI image generator is super fun as like a replacement to using royalty-free stock images. And, this was a 5-word prompt. The more specific you are, the more dialed in your images are going to look.
And you can pick the aspect ratio. If you're doing a thumbnail there, you can do the 16:9 aspect ratio.
Exactly. Yeah, 16:9 would be good. There we go. Landscape.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. This is fun. I love this free-ranging convo. You guys, anytime you got questions, please keep popping them in. We want to make this about you.
Yes, Raul, we will be covering the auto-optimize after Ryan makes an article here.
I love this. Raul, you did your homework, man. Pumped to see this. Okay, so we ran through most of the options here on the video to blog tool. This is relatively self-explanatory. If you want a more detailed walkthrough of every single option on that tool, there is a tutorial video just below the tool. You can see it took me a while to scroll there because I've made a lot of stuff using this tool. But if you scroll down to the bottom of this page on most of our tools, maybe all of them by this point, there is a tutorial video from us showing how to use it, how to play with each individual option. But it's all pretty self-explanatory. You'll cruise through here. You'll connect a my tone. You'll pick your language. You'll drop in a primary keyword phrase that you want this piece of content to rank for on Google. You'll select article length, internal links, target audience, any additional instructions you may want to add. This field is fantastic for including really specific things that you want the AI to incorporate into your content. So if you have a vision, if you already have kind of an idea of maybe some of the header items or the formatting you want to see in this article, drop that in here. It's usually really, really good about listening to instructions. But I will tell you, AI has a mind of its own on some things. So if you ever spot any bugs or AI doing something funky in your account, just let us know. You can drop us an email to contact@rightblogger.com anytime.
And anytime you need help, you can also go to the very top where it says help, and there's a contact form there. Especially even
Yeah.
if you're asking for help on a specific tool, we're always happy to make videos and things like that for whatever you're trying to learn.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. So let's jump ahead here. Let's say we just created this piece of content. Now, this article, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the SEO report. And this process is the exact same process that you'll use if you're using our primary AI article writer. This is going to be the same process if you're using the rewriter tool, which can take any of your existing content. You can paste in the URL here, where you can just copy and paste from, say, inside WordPress, drop this content in, and essentially re-optimize, update your content using the rewriter tool. So what we're about to show you here using SEO reports and using auto optimize is applicable in the same exact processes. So the first thing that happens when you create a piece of content inside one of our longer form tools here is you'll see this SEO report button. It's going to look gray. You'll want to pop this open right here. And what it's going to look like when you've not yet created a report for it is this. It's going to ask you to enter the target keyword to get started with your SEO report. And again, this is the keyword phrase that you want this article to rank at the top of Google, to rank at the top of YouTube for the video version if you're making a video, to be picked up and cited inside the ChatGPTs of the world. So this is a pretty important thing to make sure that you're nailing. Do you want to do keyword research ahead of time just to make sure that you're targeting your content after the right stuff. And if we see some comments asking for a keyword research tutorial, we'll make some time to show you how to use that tool on this stream here today. So if you want to see that, drop keyword research into the chat and we'll make sure we get to it after we finish this tool. Andy, do you want to add anything before I hop in and start showing off SEO reports and auto optimize?
This might be a bad example, is the only thing I'll add.
Okay, let's do a new example.
We
I love
always
it.
have the issue where all of our content is about RightBlogger, so it's a lot very meta, if you will. So I think that's always something that we always look at. So I
You're
think that'd be
so right.
a little confusing there.
Let's start by creating an AI generated article. Let's just say gluten-free pumpkin pie recipe. This is something that is very seasonal, and I know someone, a RightBlogger customer out there, who has a gluten-free baking blog, and so shout out to Lisa. This one may help you. Let's see what happens here. But thinking about when you do keyword research, you want to choose seasonal topics, things that are going to have real proven search demand. This would be an example of, we're in September here, fall's rolling around, people want pumpkin pie recipes. So this was kind of top of mind to me, if that gives you a glimpse into the mind of my dessert obsessions. Now, when I start with the AI article writer, I'll toggle on the edit outline. This is usually on by default because we want you to see what the AI is going to write before it actually gets into the full article creation process. Images, I'll often toggle this on, and we just recently added the option to either include stock images inside your article or generate AI images instead of stock images. You can leave them both toggled on. It may do a mix of the two. But I really, really like this feature. Andy, do you want to add anything about this?
Well, for this one, don't do it just because it takes a couple extra seconds. So let's not waste time generating images. But yeah, I really
Fair.
love the option for the AI style prompt. So if you want to have the images look the same throughout the entire post, you can add a really detailed style prompt there. Be like, the kind of what I was playing around with was like a pencil sketch with purple hues. And then all the generated images will use that style actually in the post. So if you have a really detailed brand imaging style that you go for, this is a great way to kind of like rein it in and have them all be similar.
Beautiful. I love that. Please play around with it. Let us know any feedback you have if you want to see things changed on it. Other options to kind of peruse here when you're creating content. I love toggling on external links. Now, what you can do if you don't want to link to some certain specific sites, whether it's sites in a particular country that you want to avoid or that you do want to be selected, if you want to exclude certain domains, which is great if you want to exclude competitive domains. So, a website that competes with you on all the same topics or the exact same business model, let's say, you could add those links here. You can also add this to your projects over here. This is where you can control all of your tool level defaults. So you would have the option to include, external links that you want to exclude inside the projects area as well. I know we're jumping around a bit, so please bear with us here. And the last note on external links that I really like is you can use this slider to toggle how frequently you want external links to appear. And so we start with the default at 300 words. About every 300 words or so, there's going to be an external link included in your content. If you want to adjust that, you can. Anywhere from 300 to 500 is considered standard SEO best practices. The last option here under the primary toggles is real-time knowledge. This one will slow down the time it takes to create your article. And so I don't tend to use this feature unless I'm writing something that's very like newsworthy, up to the moment. This goes out and performs a real-time web search on Google to gather up to the minute information about whatever's going on. So if you create news-based content or things that need to be really, really timely, up to the minute type knowledge, then toggle this on for sure. I will save us the time with this example. And I'm just going to say, let's use the writing tone of friendly and engaging. This is from my tones. If I wanted to switch up the language here, I could. We've got 100 and something options, like pretty much all languages have been considered in this. And if you come across something that you need and we don't have, just let us know. Reach out anytime. Article length, we've got a ton of options. Best practice is usually going to be to leave it somewhere near the automatic, unless you have a pretty clear vision for what you want this post to be like. Automatic is going to generate something in the 1,500 to 2,000 word range or so, but we've got more options for you here. I'm going to select short form for the sake of this example, so we're not taking so much time here. Point of view, more options here. You can generate it with a blank outline if you want to fill this in yourself. Relevant video would be finding a video on YouTube that is related to your topic that embeds it in the post. And then we've got some more options here. Primary keyword. This is a really important one. We want this one to be defined. And so for this one, I'm going to be choosing gluten-free pumpkin pie recipe also as my primary keyword. And the advantage of filling in your topic here under this primary keyword field is that this is the one that's taken into account from an SEO perspective when the AI starts writing your content. And so I want to remove the internal links on this one. Target audience, let's say at home bakers. And then additional instructions, I've got some stuff that I just like as far as formatting on my content. And so I'll include that here. And Andy, is there anything else you'd want to see before I generate this outline?
No, I think this is perfect.
Cool. So as you can see, we're giving commentary here. We're explaining what we're doing, but this process does take some time. It is a process. Content creation, marketing, promotion, optimization, all of these things are processes and they should take your time. It's when you hand over all of the decision making to AI that you're going to see content come back to you that feels disappointing. So you do want to invest your time, your experience, the things that you're good at, your real life stories into the content creation process. And so, we're using this gluten-free pumpkin pie as an example. Ideally, the creator would have made a video about it. They'd be using the video to blog tool and writing in their own words. But here we are. The edit outline stage is one of my favorites to actually spend some time on, to not just blow through it and straight to the generate article, because you can click into each of these sections using the pencil icon there, and you can edit, alter, add your detailed instructions to each section. You can drag and drop things. You can move things under to be nested as a different heading level. This is really a good step to spend some time. But let's say for this example, it's already ready to rock and roll. Now, what's happening behind the scenes here? Once you've packaged all these instructions for AI and handed it over to the tool, Andy, what's happening?
Well, it's like you pick the external links, so it's going out to Google and actually finding links that would be good for this article to link out to. Because usually when you're writing articles, it's good to reference like well-known sources and things like that. Um, and other than that, yeah, it's grabbing the stock images. It tries to confirm if the stock image that it finds from Pexels is actually good for the article. So if they don't actually have a pumpkin pie image, likely we might not get one because if that's too specific. But if you don't see a stock image, that's definitely why the AI will actually confirm that that is the correct thing to put in there. And then yeah, we're going out and using GPT from OpenAI, and it's generating the article, and we'll get a result here in a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
And I
Often
think we
what
have some
we
good
see.
questions here too. I can bring
Ooh,
up if you'd like.
perfect. Let's answer
Uh,
some questions while we wait here.
you'd probably be good at answering this one, Ryan. Do your customers share SERP results with you? Do you have examples of a customer ranking on page one because of your tool?
We have, so short answer is anecdotally, yes. We don't have like a connection to your website in the sense that we're actually like reading your traffic or your Google Search Console or analytics data. So we don't do that in an integration format, but we do have people reach out all the time. Actually, Steve watching here on the thread with his blog String Shock, his really cool guitar blog and channel that he's working on right now, is seeing some cool progress with his content. So as he said earlier in the chat there, he uses RightBlogger for everything, right? And so Steve's created a ton of content using our tools, and he's starting to like really flirt with some competitive keyword rankings. I think you mentioned that you were ranking number 13 relatively quickly for, I want to say it was like beginner guitars, like a list of the best beginner guitars or something like that. And so, consequential, highly competitive keyword phrase that Steve's brand new website, this is a new site within the last 6 to 12 months for him, is already starting to rank, starting to like get some clicks and whatnot. And so, anecdotally, we get people reach out often with sharing their success
We,
stories,
we probably should
and
start
we use it
recording
too.
that and actually having a place where we kind of like
I
store that kind of
know.
thing. Yeah, I
We ought
never
to
really
do a
thought even.
rightblogger.com/success or something, and
Yeah.
people can submit their stories or their pages.
And
It's a
then
good
Jan
idea.
asks, can we use someone else's YouTube video on our website? So the answer is yes. For the article writer, what Ryan just showed, that'll actually go out and find one on YouTube. It's just kind of good practice to have a YouTube video. But for the video to blog tool, yes, you can use any YouTube video for that. But definitely be careful with like plagiarism and things like that. You definitely don't want to just take someone's entire content and put it on your site. But yes, in terms of the site, you can use other people's YouTube videos. And then
Yeah,
also,
I think the use case for that, real quick, the using other people's YouTube videos, the use case that works is, hey, I saw this video, it inspired this thought, this idea, and so I want it to be included as source material. Just make sure you cite your sources.
yeah, exactly. And Michael asks, explain the difference between the creativity slider. Does it add fluff content or cause a daydreaming by the AI? So that the slider, it basically just tells the AI to be more creative or not at a really basic level. So it shouldn't cause any fluff content, but it should let it just kind of go more in a random direction, I guess you could say. But it shouldn't cause hallucinations or things like that. And also, Darren asked, is there a switch that you can turn off M dashes? So we have a lot of emails about M dashes. I'm sure everybody has a lot of opinions about M dashes. We have a ton of prompting behind the scenes to not include M dashes, but it seems like the AI ignores that. I am kind of curious if OpenAI includes that purposely, but yeah, we don't have a switch for that to actually remove it from the content once it's actually written. But in terms of the back end, we actually prompt the AI not to include that. So, but as you can
That's in
see
the
here,
instructions for
Ryan,
the AI like several times, right?
yes, multiple variations. That's the type of things I'm always dealing with in the back end and trying to figure out. So if you get a result you don't like, definitely email us and I can definitely work with you and try to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. I definitely would love to have a way to like filter things out once it actually shows up in the article because you can see Ryan here has an M dash in his
Mhm.
introduction.
Yeah, check that out. I mean, funny for me though, I actually I love M dashes. I used M dashes 15 years ago. And so now they've gone out of
So
style. I guess I gotta stop.
no, it's because they've been trained on your blog. So now it's
That's true. That's
they're
true.
like
I
this
mean, if it
like
AI is trained on the internet, right? M dashes are all over the internet in that case. I love it. Any more questions you wanna tackle now before we kind of pick back up on the tutorial side?
Lisa asked, "Do you have user intent text slash copy?" I'm not sure what that question is, Lisa. If you could elaborate a little bit.
My guess would be if there's like an option maybe. There is no current option when you're like creating content inside the tool to add any sort of like custom instructions about user intent as a specific thing. But Lisa, what I would do is I would just pop into the additional instructions for the article, and then give any instructions you've already got as far as what the user intent is for the post.
And Annie says, "Thank you for the deep dive. Super helpful." So you are welcome, Annie.
Yeah, and love to see you here. Thank you for joining. Awesome. Okay, let's pick back up with our tutorial here. So what we had done up to this point was really focus in on the pre-process here, the creation step of instructions that we hand off to the AI. And now we've got this article. So dude, I'm going to give it a quick scan. I always like to just make sure things look appropriate before I head into optimizing the actual content. So we got a pretty good stock image here. Actually, they nailed it on the pumpkin pie. That looks delicious. Dang, I'm gonna
I
have to
see
get some
gluten
pumpkin
though.
pie later. What's that?
I see gluten.
I know it does look like a pretty gluten full pie. So, ideally, if I'm the one publishing this blog post, I have a blog about gluten free baking or something like that. And so I'll have already made the pie that I'm sharing the recipe for. So I'm going to use my own images, in all likelihood throughout. But I'm liking the formatting options. So we've got bullet points, we've got bold stuff, we've got links, and we've got an image there. And then things are looking pretty good to me, the step-by-step portion and some more links. So, some final tips, takeaways, how to store it, some key frequently asked questions. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for a short form post. I would probably go with something a little bit longer. And Andy, you got a good question up there. Do you want to pull that one back up?
Yeah. Pepper has a great question about a style PDF they can upload with custom instructions on how to write and the structure and things like that. So, as Ryan showed a little bit ago, the feature with projects is actually the best way to save presets. So you don't actually have to use a PDF or anything like that. You can actually put that instructions for how you like your articles formatted in the additional instructions for a project. And then anytime you use one of the RightBlogger tools, just pick that project and it'll fill in those details for you. So then you'll have that formatting. I think that's kind of what you're looking for.
Cool. Beautiful. So once we've created our first draft of the content, now we're ready to get into the optimization piece. And this is really where most people do not go the extra mile and put in the last 10% of effort. That's actually the most important. It's more work, it takes more time, more effort, and energy, but our tools are designed to help you do this faster. So when you generate an SEO report, this is again what your content will look like before the SEO reports open. Click on the little SEO report button there. It'll pull open this sidebar, and we want to add our target keyword phrase. And it's always going to recommend probably the right one. I've seen sometimes some changes, adjustments I want to make to it. But this is based on kind of a pre analysis of the article already. So I'm going to click the recommended target keyword phrase. If you want to understand more how the SEO reports work, pop this open. You get some bit more explainer. But let's go ahead and create the SEO report. Now, when we select that target keyword phrase that we want this content to rank for, to be optimized for, Andy, what's happening behind the scenes as this report's generated?
So right now, as it's loading, basically, RightBlogger's going out to Google. It's doing that search. It's figuring out what all those other high-ranking articles are actually talking about. I think it picks about 8 of the top 10 articles to figure out kind of like what content that they have in their articles that's working. So basically, it goes out, looks at the top results in the SERP, search engine result page, and it figures out what keywords, how many words those posts use, how many images, basically like so you can quickly at a glance figure out what's working. So as you can see here, Ryan has the sources, it's bringing up. So this is what RightBlogger actually went out and grabbed and figured out, kind of what the content is that's working and ranking for this keyword.
And if you ever want to check out any of these sources, so as Andy said, these are the top ranking pieces on Google. This report is an analysis of why the top ranking pieces from an SEO perspective are sitting in those top ranking spots. And so this report takes into account all of these sources. If you want to pop open any of these, you can just click on one. It'll pull it open in a new tab. If you want to just check out this blog, see what's going on, gather some inspiration. Again, don't copy people's content, but use your competitors to learn from what they're doing right. And this SEO report is an analysis of that. And so the first thing you're going to notice here is the score. We got a 58% on the first draft of this post. That's not bad, but ideally we want to see something that's well into the green. And the sweet spot to aim for is anywhere between, say, 85 to 95 at the high end. If you go for 100% optimization on all of your content, you might end up somehow getting dinged for maybe keyword stuffing or trying to do too much on-page SEO optimization. And so our tool is taking that into account, that it wants to give you the right amount of optimization and not just overdo it in order to hit a 100. But here are the main sort of things that are taken into account under an SEO report. So content structure, word count is the number of words in your article within the expected range or close to it. Headings, are you within the expected range or close to it? Number of paragraphs, number of images, right? You can see 0 to 16, 16 being on the high end for number of images to include. But for some visual content like this, I would want a lot of images. And then the number one thing, keywords. Andy, do you want to explain sort of the role of keywords in the SEO reports?
Yeah, so basically, like I said before, it went out to all of those other articles and figures out like the correlating keywords that all of these articles are talking about. And that's kind of what this report is judging your article on. Now, like Ryan said, you're not trying to get everything perfect. The main goal that I like here is that you can see topics that you actually might not be covering. So for example, you can see a keyword right here is pumpkin pie filling. So a lot of these recipes probably reference pumpkin pie filling, and even though ours is just and I think that would be a good addition there, like that specific keyword.
Yeah.
Especially mentioning vegan, like didn't even mention the word vegan, like things like that. It's a really great way to quickly see kind of like what topics you need to add in there. And the system works that the keywords on the top are the ones you have not referenced enough. The yellow is keywords you have referenced too much, which is typically okay. And then the green is you're kind of in the sweet spot of like the amount of times that it's been referenced. And I do want to say the kind of the obvious thing once you see this is that why don't we do this before the article is generated? We are working on that also. So so when you generate the article, it'll be like a higher percentage,
85 or a 90,
or more so.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. So let's now do auto optimize, because this is by far my favorite new feature inside RightBlogger. Of anything in 2025, this has been my favorite. And so I'm going to click auto optimize. And again, as we were saying at the top of this stream, this is a pro level feature. So this is only available on pro and business plans. With the pro plan, you can do 5 SEO reports, 5 auto optimizations. Business plan, 25 of each. So I'm going to click this, And what's happening now behind the scenes, you see this little improving content thing popped up, auto optimizing, you get a little progress bar here, is we're going out and developing an actual SEO plan of improvement for your content over here against all of this report data points. And so the big one that we're going to notice here is you can see there's maybe 15 or so keywords that aren't mentioned enough in the article. That will be corrected. And it's not just throwing the keywords over here to the left and putting them somewhere inside your article. It's actually reevaluating the entire structure of this piece of content, and it's rewriting it based on all of these different, say, topics and sections and things that were missed from the first round. So we were at 1229 words. We'll see how many words we're at once this update's complete.
And the main thing it's really doing here is, like Ryan said, working in the keywords, because the score is kind of like derivative of the keywords themselves. And Michael, you has a great question here. Is it limited to 5 uses? How often? And then he references a message on Discord. Michael, is it still messed up on your account in terms of how it visually looks? That should hopefully be resolved. I had a hard time replicating the issue, but yes, the credits are reset every month. And right now, the way the credits work is it's based on a rolling month. So if you use 1 credit, and that's kind of the start of your the period of the reporting. So it's not based on your subscription date, sadly, right now. But yeah, you will get reset, once a month, basically.
Yeah. And I'll also offer, because we have had customers reach out and ask, hey, is there something in between pro and business as far as access to number of SEO reports and auto optimizations you can get per month? What I'll say is shoot us an email. We love working with you. We want to make things work for you. So we do offer the ability to kind of get a custom plan with us in order to get something between the 5 and the 25 on the SEO reports. It will change the price of what you're paying in your RightBlogger subscription now, but we understand that we want to also be flexible with you guys. Andy, anything you want to add before I hop into everything that changed here? This is my favorite part.
You got this.
I love this so much. So
Ryan was so excited when I made this feature, by the way. So
this is, well, we got so excited about it that we were like, how do we go even further down this rabbit hole of auto optimization and updating content? And so we're working on some more new things, especially designed around updating your existing content. So keep an eye out for updates on that. That's where a lot of our energy is going right now. But biggest thing that changed here, we saw immediately the score went from 58 to 88. This is now in the sweet spot. And so we actually disable future auto optimizations to content once it's more than 85% optimized, because at this level, you're just polishing a little bit. And it's easy, if you're not super experienced at SEO, to go overboard in pursuit of that, say, 100. Now, there wouldn't be anything wrong with optimizing this content to 100 if you do it the right way, but it's easy to kind of flub that up at some point. So we saw the word count changed. We're now at 1356. We were at 1229 before. So there's another 120, 130 words or so added to this article, but it's not just those words being added somewhere. It's the rewriting, the restructuring that got all these keywords mentioned. So we can now see that virtually everything has been mentioned at least one time. So we're doing a really, really good job of on-page SEO with this post. Where there's room for perhaps further tuning up of things would be, maybe we want to get this mentioned, gluten-free recipe. We want to mention this one more time, maybe 2 more times. Pumpkin puree, maybe we should mention 1 more time, right? And so these are such fine tuning things that will one more of these keywords being mentioned in here actually make a difference? Probably not. So much of the optimization is already now built in. We've got more green than anything. And so what I'll do once we've run an auto optimization on a piece of content is I'll give it another scan. This is really important here. I want to make sure that this article is indeed a reflection of what I want this content from me to be. And so there's all these formatting elements that we did really like, perhaps some additional stuff added into all of these little sections, but this looks largely like the same post I had before, just tuned up a bit. Andy, anything you'd want to add onto this stage of the content creation process? You know, this is usually where I'll say, okay, like this is now my really solid first draft, and I want to like spend a little bit of time kind of just making sure, reading through every piece of content I publish, by the way. Very important. Please read through
I
your content.
yeah.
Um,
I was gonna say that's kind of like we need to emphasize that. Like a lot of people just want to publish and just copy and paste without even reading what they're posting, and then wondering why they're not getting results. It's like at a minimum, you have to read what you're actually publishing. AI is fantastic for this type of thing, of course, as you can see here, but you definitely need to like look at what you're doing at least.
And something I'll add on that, you know, I think Darren, you asked about like AI SEO earlier. LLMs in particular really care about who the author is for content. And so on your blog, on your website, wherever you're publishing content, make sure that it's very clear that it's you. Maybe in your bio, have your LinkedIn, your social medias and stuff linked, because AI wants to attribute content to people, especially when it's citing sources and linking out to people and they're recommending people. And that's a really big thing. You want to include your real life examples, your experience, talk about you, who you are, your motivations, why you're qualified for a certain, you know, thing that you're talking about within your content. Don't be shy. The more that you're really clear and upfront about why it is you're an expert at the topics you're sharing with people about, the better you're going to be off, both from an SEO perspective with Google search engines and then also in the AI chatbots out there.
Yeah, it's definitely about like speeding up your experience, not about replacing it. You know, like don't blog in a niche that you have nothing about. You know, things like that.
Yeah,
And Raul
please.
has a great question here about AI be content being flagged. If you want to answer that real
Oh yeah.
quick.
Yeah, content with a very little percentage having copied content. Oh, so there's two parts to this question: plagiarizing and then you know, percentage of AI written. So in our perspective, we've never seen issues at all with either the plagiarism side of things, as far as content that we've created, published, our customers have done, and then also the AI detection side of things. So the plagiarism issue is a much bigger issue if your content is scraping too much from others. But inside RightBlogger, you don't need to worry about that. We have seen no issues of that ever. And there's a lot of instructions behind the scenes in our prompting and whatnot that are designed to avoid that from ever happening. So plagiarism side, you're good. Now, the AI detection side, this is actually a really interesting topic to me because there's going to be a point in the not so distant future where, okay, Andy, we got another question pulled up on the screen.
Similar vein.
I
So I just
got you.
wanted to throw that on there.
Google, okay, yeah. Does Google punish a whole site basically if your content is too AI? Google has said a lot about being okay with AI generated content. Google does not care. Their algorithms have shown not to care whether or not content was created with AI, with the help of AI versus humans, as long as it's actually valued delivering content, that it's real, it's comprehensive, it's coherent, it makes sense to real people. And what Google cares most about is the time page or the time spent on page. So average time on page, how long someone comes to your content and actually stays on it. So if you do a good job of having a compelling intro, a hook that draws people in, and you're telling a story that's interesting and delivering value in the way that your audience wants to receive it, you're doing the right thing. And you will be rewarded for that. It's when you have an introduction that sounds, you know, generic or boring, if you're not making edits, improvements to your introductions with content that you're publishing, then you're leaving all of this up to chance. And so, me personally, I am absolutely never 0 out of 100 times publishing an article without rewriting the introduction at least pretty substantially, because I want it to be really dialed in for me. I might talk about a specific example. I might dive into a story I have related to it. AI doesn't know what stories are in my head. And so you can give some of these things over to the prompting process, but ultimately, you as the creator, where you have the opportunity to thrive and build connection with people is by getting all this kind of, first drafting process done for you and fine tuning to make it feel yourself from here.
And also, we should note that AI detection is not accurate. Of course, it was way easier back in the days of GPT 3.5. Stuff was way more robotic. But in terms of detecting, that's not a real way of kind of detecting content. That's why, like we said, it's so important to actually read your content. If it's something you're proud of and it's something that you think other people would benefit from, that's really all that matters. Like the biggest thing that Google is going to actually ding you for is like publishing at scale. Like there's no way that you could have written 50 articles in a day, that type of thing. So it's really about like a balance of that. And I think there's kind of like a misconception about people who bulk publish versus like using AI generally. That's why on RightBlogger, we don't have any like big bulk, options basically.
Yeah, you cannot generate 100 articles in 5 minutes and publish them all using our tool. And that's very intentional because we have never seen that work. Even if there are instances where it works for a little bit for a site, if you're doing super insane mode bulk publishing, you almost inevitably will see a crash probably to zero. Because it ends up being a very clear sort of attempted SEO manipulation is sort of how the algorithms would detect that. This is so much fun. You guys ask really good questions. Thank you. Please keep the questions coming. We're kind of to the end here of our tutorial portion. We have more tools we could always show and tell. So if there are more tools that you want to see, please drop that into the comments. We can spend a little more time with y'all answering some questions. Andy, have we had any more good questions?
I know people want to see the keyword tool, but before you do that, go back to the article. I just wanted to point out, I think a lot of people miss the tabs on the top for the articles themselves. Yeah, so in here, you can, we have a chat. So if you want to ask follow-up questions, the SEO tab that Ryan's loading here. Oh, okay. Well, the chat is great for asking follow-ups. The SEO tab is great for getting a meta description, a permalink, things like that. It just uses AI to quickly generate those things for you. The chat tab is great for also getting meta descriptions or social posts. The chat is more freeform, of course, so you can kind of ask whatever you like here, and you can save prompts that you like in the prompt library. So if you use a prompt every time you publish an article, you can go there and quickly generate a post. As you can see, Ryan's doing this here. And you can do this on almost all of the tools, which is great because it actually goes through and like figures out the actual content that you've just generated. And there's also an images tab that has a few image options and links to stock image sites. So it'll actually figure out a search that would be good on a stock image site if you want to find some more images and things like that. And it also generates some social images, as you can see here, in case you just want to grab something for your featured image. We are working on adding more options here, so you can kind of have things more in like a style that you use on your brand and things like that. But overall, I think it's really good to know about those options up there. And anytime you're in the editor also, you can click choose image on an image to actually replace it with all types of images. So if you want to use a stock image, an AI image, a URL, or even upload an image, you can quickly like swap out things with that. Just a good thing to know when you're working in RightBlogger.
Yeah, this AI image one's fun. Highly recommend. Go nuts. Play with this. Have fun.
But I do know people wanted to see the keyword research tool. So if you just want to show that real quick.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's do that right now. The last thing I'll mention here, once you got your content dialed in, so if you make edits here under the editor tab, everything is saved under the editor tab. When you pop over to the article tab, that's the original version that was created. Now,
and also
where we made all the changes.
And if you have an integration set up in your project, you can actually send the content directly to your WordPress site, to Webflow. We have a few other integrations like Ghost and even webhooks. So if you're a developer, you can actually make kind of custom workflows. I actually have a video using the Webflows using the webhooks with a Zapier. So if you want to make some kind of workflow with Zapier, you can do that with that integration button down there.
Beautiful. And you can also copy paste the content in a bunch of different types of formats. Download it as a Microsoft Word doc. There's a share URL here if you just want to share this real quick. Copy that, paste it, send it to someone.
Yeah, well, Ryan and I use that a lot when we're kind of sharing, like if we have an issue in an article or something like that. It's easy to kind of quickly share that. So if you ever have an issue with a specific article, it's always helpful if you send the share link down there.
Beautiful. This works great too if you've got like a virtual assistant or something inside your account who's using the tools to create for you and they want to share a link to proof an article or something. Very handy. All right. Let's spend a little time with some keyword research. This is also one of my favorite tools. This stays in my favorites. So again, if you really like a tool, favorite it, it'll stay up near the top. But I love this tool in particular for topic identification. I usually come here for one of two reasons. Number one is, oh my God, what should I write about this week? I don't know what to talk about. Have I said everything I think I need to say about this? And this tool will always prove me wrong. There's always more to talk about, to share about, to teach about within a particular niche that you're in. So I'll come here if I don't know what to write about. I will also come here if I have a topic that I think I should create some content about, but I just want to make sure, okay, yeah, there are actually real people out there searching for this topic, for education, for entertainment around it. And so what I would want to search for, something like gluten-free pumpkin pie. This would be if I'm a food blogger and I'm going about creating my sort of fall content schedule right now. I just want to make sure that people in my target country where I want to reach people, the United States is the one that I've got toggled on by default, but you've got options here. And in my target language, I leave this on all at all times. Most websites, unless you are really doing something specific to a country, most websites will want to leave these as default. But if I want to just make sure that other people are actually searching for this topic and kind of give it the thumbs up to create content about it, I'll type this in here. I'll hit submit. And now we're going out and performing a bunch of keyword research here. Andy, would you like to explain what these columns are and what things like volume, competition, cost per click mean?
So yeah, the left is the keyword. So that's basically what someone would enter in Google. So kind of like if someone would enter gluten-free pumpkin pie, and then on the volume, that's the amount of searches a month. And of course, you can hover over any of these if you don't understand what they mean. So the volume you can hover over to kind of give you a little explanation there of what it is. And then the competition is how difficult it actually would be to rank for that keyword. So for example, the word pizza, that would be extremely high to rank in the top 5 of Google. So that's kind of like that's kind of a good gauge of what you should write about. If something that's a high difficulty, maybe like steer clear of it if you have a new website and focus on things that are low. We also have the ability to export as a CSV. And so if you're more analytical, you can click that. And the CSV export actually gives you the ability to actually see the numbers behind the competition. So there's actually a number that's between 0 and 100 in there. But we kind of just make it really easy to understand with the low, medium, and high. And then cost per click, that's the amount that people spend on ads. So if something has a high cost per click, that probably means it's very competitive and you might want to steer clear from that. And the easiest thing here is you can click the columns and actually sort them by the different metrics. So if you want to find something that's low volume, you can do that easily there. We do have our default sort that it does is kind of tries to find a good mix of everything. So when you first load it, it should be the best way to go about looking at it. But if you want to find something specific, it's really helpful to know about that ordering.
I love that. Nailed it. I'll add my commentary on the cost per click thing. So I don't really place too much value on cost per click unless I see this is like astronomical. Like if the people are paying 20, 30, 50, $100 or something for a click, that tells me that there's insane competition for the topic. That won't necessarily be a deterrent for me to pursue it, especially if it's a really important topic for my business or for my website, my content plans. I'm going to do it anyway, but I won't have the expectation that I'm going to be able to rank for that topic anytime soon. It'll take long time, likely years, to rank for something like pizza if you ever could. It would be so insanely competitive. You would have a hard time doing it unless you were an actual global pizza brand or something like that. But cost per click, use this as kind of a temperature gauge. If it's blank, that tells you that maybe there aren't a ton of, people monetizing this search term already. But I think for something like this example, we're using gluten-free pumpkin pie recipe. Perhaps people are monetizing this. I would say bloggers are people who are sharing content, publishers. But what I usually do from here, once I've generated a list of keywords, I'm going to do what Andy was talking about. I'm going to do some sorting, some filtering. I'm going to be choosing keywords that have a meaningful amount of search volume, at least somewhere in the hundreds, unless there's a really low volume term here that I know would translate into a high value business result for me if I were able to, say, capture all 90 of these people and a high percentage of them converted into customers for my business. Then I would consider that. But for me, I'm usually looking at stuff in the hundreds or in the low thousands. When you start getting up to 5,400 monthly searches going on, you can just assume the competition's usually going to be pretty high for that. And we've got medium selected on this one.
And I think it's also good to note the tools button so that you can hover over any keyword and bring up the tools panel. And if you're done showing this tool, Ryan, I think the people also ask would be a great place to bring the recipe. I just love this tool. Just the way it works is really fun. So anytime you're on Google, you're definitely going to want to hit submit here. But anytime you're on Google, basically there's like people also ask questions. So what this is actually doing is it's grabbing all of those questions and then making it a little analysis there for you. So this is great for finding new topics. So you can type in like photography as something really, or gluten-free recipes would be another good one. But yeah, every time you do it, you'll get a little report at the top. So it's actually using AI to figure out what would be useful here. And then if you scroll down below that, that's kind of like where all of the actual data is. So I've actually used this a lot for like typing photography in and then figuring out like, oh, like a article about sunrise photography. That would be a good one. Like it figures out those like outbound topics that you wouldn't normally just kind of like come to your head.
These are basically cheat codes too, to the types of content pieces that if you have these all more or less, if you meet the intent of all of these, at least, let's say, you don't have to have an individual piece on each one of these things, but if you cover the intent and you answer all these questions related to gluten-free pumpkin pie across your site somewhere, Google is almost guaranteed, as long as you're doing this in a high quality way, Google's almost guaranteed to take you seriously on this topic. So if you have a gluten-free baking blog, having lots of these kinds of content pieces out there that are covering all these different angles is really helpful. Or if you're just, publishing a blog post on this, like the one we created here in our example today, and we're looking for some frequently asked questions to maybe slide into the end of the article and answer what the most common questions are that people ask related to this topic, this is an awesome way to do it. And you can click on one of these. It'll pull up some keyword related data if you want. But yeah, this is a great tool. I use this one all the time too.
And Pepper has a great question here is, they prefer different types of AI models. Yeah, so we don't currently have a list of AI models that you can choose from. But if you are a subscriber to RightBlogger, in your settings, you can actually go to, there's a setting called advanced instructions, and you can put in your own API keys. And we haven't had many customers use it, so let us know if it works well for you. But right now we support Google AI, Anthropic, and OpenAI. So if you paste an API key in there, once you have an API key in there, on all of the tools, you'll see a model drop down. You can actually pick the model that you want to use, but just be mindful that it's going to use your AI key for those. So you'll see, like if you add that, you'll have an option where it's RightBlogger's choice or the ones that you actually have filled in there. So if you like a specific model, Pepper, that's definitely a good option.
Awesome. There are so many awesome questions here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a little bit so we can pull it back up. We can show some more tutorials, but we also want to make time for any more questions you guys may have. We're here. We're down to keep chatting. This has been really fun. Thank you for a ton of really good questions already. Special shout out, Darren, Rahul. thank both of you for some really good questions, and please always keep them coming.
And someone also asked for a Squarespace integration, and definitely shoot us an email, and I can see if I can get that worked in. Some platforms don't let us actually integrate like that, but I think Squarespace. I don't know why we're not supporting it, but we should be.
That's a good one.
And Pepper loves the tool in all caps. See?
Yeah, Pepper. Thank you, Pepper. This has been a lot of fun. Wow. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap up here for today. Unless Andy, was there anything else that we should be showing off that's relevant right now?
I don't think so. I think that was everything. Yeah.
Cool. Well, with that, we're gonna say thank you all. Oh, we got one more Darren question. Yeah, Darren. For the SEO optimization, are you spending a credit to run the report and spending another credit to auto optimize? Andy.
So creating the reports is what actually costs the credits in the system. So you can auto optimize as much as you want until it's I think it's 80. When you're above 80, we've just noticed that it kind of can't optimize above that. So I disable the button at that point. But yeah, in terms of the optimize button, you can use it as much as you want, but the reports themselves is what's limited currently, just because that's kind of like a costly thing for how our system works.
Cool. I think I described that wrong earlier. So thanks for asking.
You did say, yeah, you did. I was like, I'm not going to correct him. And someone also asked about table of contents being in the article writer. We don't have that right now, but I do want to make an update that lets us do that kind of thing. Basically, our technical challenge there is having the ability to actually add things after an article is generated. But for in the meantime, you can ask chat, the chat tab, like Ryan showed, and that'll actually like let you kind of ask that type of thing if you want to generate a table of contents. I also recommend, if you're using WordPress, to use a table of contents plugin. That's definitely like the easiest way and kind of the best way to, in case your article changes and you're not linking to dead anchors in your post. And there's a lot of great plugins for that in WordPress.
Does Yoast SEO do something around this? Rank Math maybe? Or
Yoast has a table of contents, but I believe it's in the premium plugin, which yeah, I use that one, and I do like the table of contents there, but there are plenty of free ones.
Cool. I love it. All right. Let's wrap up here for today. If you do have more questions, please come join us in the Discord. Shoot us an email to contact@rightblogger.com anytime you've got a question. I saw a bunch of you guys say that you're going to reach out with some stuff that came up during this session today. So thank you in advance. And yeah, there's the link to the Discord, rightblogger.com/Discord. Thank you all for joining us. And Andy, thank you for making this way more fun and interesting than just me by myself on here.
This was a great time. I'm glad I could join. And Darren, I do see you're asking about experience with customers. Shoot us an email. If you just check out the contact button in our footer, you'll see the way to contact us there.
Totally. We will hook you up with people that will say the nicest things and the most honest things too. Cool. Thank you all.
Thank you all. This was a lot of fun.
If you want to tune into more, Andy and I are going to be doing this regularly. Please just make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and that you're on the email list. If you have a RightBlogger account, you will get emails from us about these things as they're coming up. So stay tuned, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.